am Celeste Byers. I'm 28 years old and I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm an artist and muralist.
If I don't live to see it tomorrow, at least I was trying, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna say no to riding a motorcycle down the road. And if my head explodes, I guess that was the way I was supposed to go.
So first I decide what I want to do. I made this, and then I take a photo of it and Photoshop the marks over my image. I started out studying illustration, like in college. I went to school for illustration for 4.5 years, and then my dad is a pilot and he has this big airplane hangar, and he asked me to paint a mural on it, and so I did. And after that, like, I hated painting murals, actually. I was like, that was really hard, like, that took me like a month. I don't want to do this ever again. But then once someone saw that, they like asked me to do another, and then like I was like, it kind of grew on me and I got better at it. And then for the past like 5 years I've been painting like a lot of murals. And so I travel, like I started out painting like in mural festivals, like painting for free, and I traveled all over like New Zealand, Australia, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Mexico, like all over the place painting.
Wow.
And like just recently, the past couple years I've just been painting in Mexico and the United States, basically. Yeah, so I'm here in Zihuatanejo painting a mural for Villa del Sol. It's like this luxury resort, and I've never painted at a luxury resort before, but they're changing ownership, and so they're like changing the design of everything, and they invited me here to paint.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you said you've traveled a lot, like especially Mexico, but other places as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any favorites, like either pieces that you've done or communities or places you've visited?
Well, I feel like everywhere I go, is like so amazing. But I think it's best if I'm able to paint in a community and actually connect with the community. Like my friend Erin and I painted in Cancun last year, and we painted at this low-income housing project, and it was like these series of apartment buildings that were like government made. We painted this woman, and 4 generations of her family had lived in that building, and like every day like her daughter made us lunch, and like yeah, and like at the end they had these like typical like Ethio dresses that like the Mayan women there wear, and the woman like brought me and all the ladies from the project those dresses, and like we all wore them, and it was like this really cool celebration.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and it was very interesting because that woman, it's like when you travel in Mexico, it's like of course people speak Spanish, but there it was like this woman's first language was Mayan, and then her second language was Spanish, and it was just cool getting to know like a not so known community. I feel like I'm based out of San Diego, but I'm on the road like a lot, or like the past few years it's just been a lot, so I feel like I'm at home like maybe half the time and away half the time. And I guess it is kind of an alternative lifestyle, but I really feel like my home is in San Diego because I have like a solid community there. But then since I love to travel, it's like when I'm there sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I can't stand like the same thing every day. Like, because once you travel, it just puts this thing in your mind like, oh, there's like all this stuff out there that I want to see and do.
For sure.
So it's like a weird balance. Like just traveling, it teaches me like so much more than if I were to just stay at home. And like not only just because of every community you go to is different, but like here, for example, talking to some employees, and it's like I learned about like the minimum wage in Mexico, and you know, I don't know, like people live for like, I don't know, like $2 a day basically, and I feel like you can learn about this stuff when you're like at home, but like when you actually are in a place and experiencing it, then it like really hits you harder, and you feel more empathy for people, or like you realize, I just realized that I am really lucky that I was even given the opportunity to study art, and like that I'm able to follow that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, like I feel like every single place I go inspires me, and like I guess at home, that's another thing about being home, like sometimes it's a little harder to be inspired. It gets a little stale maybe, so like when it's like you go to a new place, like for example when I came here for this wall, I just like stood next to the pool and was like, whoa, this is so beautiful. Like I've never seen this before. Like I want to paint that.
I know you've done some work with like different different organizations or nonprofits, like the Pangea Seed and stuff, which is a big connection to like the ocean and everything, and we're here by the ocean now.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like a recurring theme, or what's your connection with the ocean?
I grew up next to the ocean. Like in San Diego, I grew up like 3 blocks from the ocean, and I just love the ocean. And I guess, yeah, when I first started painting a lot of murals, it was with Aaron Glasson, and he is the creative director for Pangea Seed. And so we painted, like, they have a project called Seawalls Murals for Oceans, and we painted, like, the first ocean mural, or Seawalls, like, conservation mural for them, and now there's, like, over 100 of them.
Wow.
By, like, tons of different amazing artists. But, like, before that, when I was in college, I took an environmental studies class, and it was, like, the first thing I had ever felt passionate in my life about was art. And then like I went scuba diving in Indonesia when I was like 21, and like that was like, I was like, whoa, like that was like the second time I ever felt like really passionate about something. Like, wow, this is like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then like at that time I was taking environmental studies classes, and I learned about all these awful things going on in the world concerning our oceans and environment. So yeah, just working with Pangea Seed, I got to like kind of really dive into just ocean, but I care about tons of issues.
Yeah. Cool. Do you like have something, it's probably different for different pieces, but do you have something that you want people to like take away from your art when you do it?
So like sometimes I try to communicate a specific message, like if it, like for example, I painted this mural about the overfishing of bluefin tuna, and we did it at this music festival, and like the message of that painting, it's like very obvious. It was like that the tuna populations, the bluefin tuna populations have been reduced 96%, and it's like that's what I want people to take from that. But like with something like this, it's more like I just want them to be like, wow, that's really beautiful, and just like have it just enliven the space. So it really depends on the
what it is. For
Yeah.
Sure. If people want to like find out more about what you do or see more of your work, where can they find out more?
People can find me on the internet. I have a website. It's celestebyers.com, and then I have an Instagram. It's @celestialterrestrial, and you can find me in real life. Wherever I am in the world, yeah. Sometimes I have art shows, sometimes I'll give like talks or workshops.
Very cool. And then where to from here?
After this I go to Mexico City, and I'm in an exhibition there, and then I'm going to go paint a mural in Puebla, in Cholula, which is in the state of Puebla, and then I go home.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'll be here about another month.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My brick really is awful because it's very absorbent. So like you have to do so many layers, and also there's like, it's so textured that like you have to go like with your brush like to get the paint in.
And although I know there are creatures with giant teeth that are much bigger than me, living out there in the sea, I'm still gonna go swimming, and I'm gonna keep on living. And if a shark eats me, oh well, I guess she was pretty hungry, and she'll get to live another day with the nutrients from my body. And though I wasn't born with wings to fly, I'm gonna jump on an airplane